We're starting to see signs that the Orange County housing market is slowing down as we're seeing more and more price reductions, homes taking slightly longer to sell, and fewer homes selling far above the asking price. I'm Tim Hamilton with StellarQuest Real Estate. And if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Southern California, please feel free to reach out to me anytime. You can find all of my contact information in the description below, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have and let you know what I can do to help. Also, if you enjoy watching this video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button, and please subscribe if you like to stay up to date on the housing market. So what we're going to do now is take a look at a couple graphs and charts that were published in one of the most recent Orange County housing reports by Stephen Thomas, who is a local economist. And the first couple graphs we're going to look at here really paint a picture of two different markets. So there are homes that come on the market priced correctly, close to their fair market value. And those homes are still typically selling above the asking price and selling in a very short period of time. And then we're seeing homes that are coming on the market that are overpriced. Those homes are taking longer to sell and are typically selling under the asking price and having less success than the homes coming on priced correctly. And so if you're thinking about selling a home, this is going to show you why it's important to not stretch on the asking price. Some sellers out there, they prefer to take a strategy of pricing the home slightly higher than what they're anticipating accepting in order to leave some room for negotiation. But this is going to show you that that is probably not the best strategy in today's market. And on the other hand, for those of you who are thinking about buying a home, this is going to show you some different strategies and approaches you can take based on how long the home has been on the market. So if a home comes on the market, if it's priced very well, there's a strong possibility it's going to sell very quickly and quite possibly with multiple offers and above the asking price. But if you're seeing homes that have been sitting on the market for a little bit longer, this is a potential opportunity to come in and get an offer accepted below the asking price. So we're going to start here with the top chart. And this is showing the top line here, homes that sold with no price reduction. And that made up 88% of homes that sold in May 2024. So you can see most homes are still selling without requiring a price reduction. And on average, their sales price to last listing price ratio was at 101.3%, and their median days on market was 8 days. So this is showing you that most homes, a large majority of homes, are still selling very quickly and slightly above the asking price. Now, if we come down here and look at the second line, this is homes that had to do a 1 to 4% price reduction in order to sell. That made up 6% of the market, and their sales price to last listing price ratio was at 98.1%. Now, their sales price to their original listing price ratio was at 95.4%, and their median days on market was 33 days. And then the final line here is homes that did a 5% or more price reduction, again, made up another 6% of the market, and their sales price to last list price ratio was 93.4%. And their sales price to their original list price ratio was 83.6%, with a median days on market of 54 days. So this is showing that the larger of a price reduction you do, this makes it more difficult to negotiate with the buyers. And on average, those homes are selling farther below their asking price. And then coming down here, we're looking at the time on market and comparing it to their sales price to list price ratio. Oh, excuse me. So homes that were on the market for 0 to 10 days, those made up 56% of sales in May. And on average, they sold for 102.8% of the list price. Homes that were on the market for 11 to 30 days made up 26% of the market, and on average sold for 99.3% of the asking price. Homes that were on the market for 31 to 60 days made up 12% of the market, and on average sold for 97.6% of the most recent list price. And homes that were on the market for 61 days or more, that only made up 6% of the market, and they sold for 93.1% of the last listing price. So this illustrates the longer the home is on the market, the more likely it is to sell for a lower price. And so this just goes back into what I was saying before. If you're a buyer and you're seeing a home that's been sitting on the market for a longer period of time, this is a potential opportunity to come in and get your offer accepted below the asking price. And if you're a seller, it's really important to price your home correctly so that you can sell the home during the first few weeks of it being on the market. And the reason being, when you list a home for sale, that notification, from Zillow, Redfin, all the home search websites, it goes out to all the buyers who are in the market looking for a home in your price range. And so that's when you get the most activity on your listing. You'll get the most showings, you'll get the most open house traffic. And this is the period of time where you're most likely going to receive offers and potentially multiple offers to create a little bit of a bidding war and selling it over the asking price. And the longer the home sits on the market, you're going to get fewer showings, you're going to get less buyer activity, and that puts yourself in a much weaker negotiating position once you do get an offer in. And so now we're going to look here. This is the active listing inventory in Orange County. And so 2024 is the purple line here. And you can see that we've been growing at a pretty steady pace since the beginning of March. So there's more homes on the market now. And we have more homes on the market than we did in 2021 and 2023. But we're still far below what is considered, a normal level of homes on the market in Orange County. So we still do have a very low number of homes for sale. So, buyers out there who are looking, there's not that much available. So just be patient, keep an eye out for any new homes hitting the market, and make sure if you see one that you like, you go out there and see it quickly, because as we pointed out in the last slide, most homes are still selling extremely quickly. So at the same time that the number of homes on the market has been growing, the buyer demand has actually tapered off a little bit since peaking in May. And so we have less buyer demand than we did. And this is very typical. If you look at these other years here, it is very typical that buyer demand will peak sometime in the spring and then kind of taper, level off and taper off into the end of the year, starting in summer. And the reason for that is everyone gets distracted with the summer travel, summer events. And so some buyers kind of take a step back and they're not as eager to go out there and buy a home as they were in the spring. And then finally, we're looking at the expected market time here. And so you can see that the expected market time has been rising since the start of May. And so this is because we have more homes on the market and slightly less buyer demand. So homes are taking slightly longer to sell on average. And because of that, we are starting to see slightly more price reductions and, homes that are not getting the same type of bidding wars that we were before. But I will point out, this is still an extremely fast market if you compare it to what is, a historically normal market. So as we mentioned before, there are still a lot of homes that are coming on the market priced correctly. They're still most likely going to get multiple offers and sell over the asking price. And lastly, we're just going to take a quick look at mortgage rates. So I'm here on mortgagenewsdaily.com. They update this Monday through Friday. And today they're quoting the 30-year fixed rate mortgage at just over 7%. And the data that they use assumes that the buyer doesn't pay any points. So you can see that rates have been extremely volatile over the prior year. A lot of people were expecting multiple rate cuts this year. We're sitting here at June with no rate cuts. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Typically, the Federal Reserve does not like to get political or make any major policy changes in an election year. So it's possible that we may only get 1 or 2 rate cuts this year, if we get any at all. So most of the forecasts I'm looking at are not expecting a significant drop in mortgage rates between now and the end of the year. And most forecasts I'm looking at are even expecting rates to be over 6% still at the end of 2025. So again, if you enjoyed watching this video, I would appreciate it if you hit the like button, and please subscribe if you like to stay up to date on the housing market. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Southern California, feel free to reach out to me anytime. All of my contact information is in the description, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions and let you know how I can help. Have a good one.